What else at town meeting? I mean,
Could I touch on one thing?
sure,
Where did that fourth article go about electronic voting?
it passed.
No, thank you. No, I know that,
Oh.
but where is it now? Because it was rather an organic gathering.
There was, so a committee is, forgive me, a committee, I know you missed some meetings, and that doesn't mean that you necessarily didn't know what the results were, so.
No, I did know the result.
Forgive me. So, the past language establishes a committee with certain personnel on it. The moderator had floated around the idea of putting together an organizational meeting. That hasn't happened.
Okay,
yet.
so it's still just percolating.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was checking in on, because I don't know, without a steering committee, I don't know how one of those groups functions without a natural ally of the proponents taking that leadership role and then probably leading it in a certain direction. As I think you alluded to, John, it's very seldom that you see a fire station building committee appointed and decide there's no need for a fire station.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
in this
so,
case,
right.
you appoint a committee to look at certain changes to town meeting, and voila, they recommend certain changes to town meeting. So,
That one's going to be interesting because I think most of the time a building project is more obvious the need of it. This one, in my opinion, it's a nice to have. I'm not opposed to it. I don't think it's a need to have. So it'll be interesting to see what people think. If it is going to make town meeting more efficient, I think it's probably a good idea. We'll have to see. I did find it kind of interesting that.
can I just make an observation to your comment? I look at this town meeting, I've only been involved for what now? 9, 10, 11 years or something? 12, no, 9, I guess. I don't think any of our town meetings that I've participated in have been inefficient. You have to stand
Exactly.
up once in a while.
Right.
Some lovely ladies they count the
Works,
people,
right,
and
very
you move
well,
on.
right.
My issue
Well,
with
people
this,
think that's inefficient when we have to stop and take a standing count. I don't.
I
but
think it's part of the game. It's great, I think.
I don't know that it's inefficiency. I think it's more the transparency piece is what I was hearing too. Knowing who votes and how they vote, so that when you're voting for a town meeting member at the polls on election day, you know what you're getting. Because a lot of times people don't know who everyone
Yeah,
is.
but
Well,
that's
that'll-
interesting though, because in the I think one visit we had from the proponent, there was a menu of, whether it's just red, green, or white, for or against, or not voting, and then there was the registering and getting my clicker, Jim Kane, Precinct 5, and then recording a vote.
Right. I think there's various degrees.
Yeah.
And I
Various
guess that's
degrees
probably
of
the purpose of the
expense.
study committee is to decide
Yeah.
what to bring forward.
To me, one of the problems with that approach is that all you know is that that town meeting member voted yes or no. You don't know why they might have voted yes. You don't know why they might have voted no. You don't know that maybe, for example, you're talking about the styrofoam. They actually support it, but there were other technical issues as to why not. So sometimes that data can be used by others in a manner that is, maybe not, goodwill, if you will, towards the individual. So it's tough. And to me, it's a very expensive solution.
Yeah.
We're going to be open-minded about what they do and bring back, but it's an expensive solution that's maybe looking for a problem, and they're going to have to justify, to town meeting there is a need.
Honestly, if we're looking for transparency or accountability, whatever you want to call it, I think the place to start that would cost no money is to publish the data on the town clerk site of people's attendance. Because when you have a 200,
Right.
there's always a reason you can't go. There's work, there could be an illness or whatever. So you need to take that into account. There are some people who don't show up a lot.
Yeah.
And when you have 240 town meeting members, and the first night I think you have 201, somebody said, well, that's not bad. It was only like 30-something. It was like 39 people didn't come in. Yeah, but it's only a 240
You don't know.
member body. So, and attendance typically goes down second and third nights. I think people should be concerned whether or not their town meeting members actually show up, let alone how they vote. I do know people who have been town meeting members. I know one, been town meeting member for years, never went to a meeting. And I asked
Yes,
the
see, that's
person,
important.
why they kept running, and they said, well, they send me the paper every year, and I sign it and send it in. And so, really, that's really what happened. And so I think that is a good place to start and get people who really want to be involved. Once in a while, you miss a meeting, you can't help it, but when you see a pattern to it, you know people really, they're not interested if they don't show up. So
I'm concerned about, giving somebody a clicker or whatever you want to call it, simply because some people may be older and they're not comfortable with technology. And it's just another reason to say maybe town meeting has moved from me. And one of the hopes you have at any town meeting, open or elected, is that you get that 18-year-old who went down to sign up the day he or she turned to the Mr. Donahue and some of the folks who have since moved on, but served for years and could bring different perspectives to different questions. I think it's important to have a good spread if you're going to have the town meeting model.
I think there's also just something nice about the tradition involved with the town meeting model, and you lose something, I think, when you bring technology too far into it.
Well, yeah, in the Norman Rockwell painting Freedom of Speech, the guy with the warrant in his pocket doesn't have a clicker in his hand.
Like our warrant is still on
Yeah,
paper. It
paper,
doesn't
right.
come to me on my phone. It's on paper. I like that.